leads us very nicely to the next speaker, because we're talking about this candidate journey, and whilst we do need to be sensitive to their emotional state and what kind of people they really are, we also at the same time need to think about converting them. At the end, they also need to become viable candidates for us to hire. And I'm really interested to see the next speaker come on, because he is going to be showing us from the technical side how to actually implement something that helps with candidate optimization and the conversion rate. So please put your hands together for our next speaker. It's Colin Lansbergen.
About me and the company I work with, some basics about CRO, not everybody is familiar with the terms. The recruitment website is a standard or more advanced version, and then we're going to go on the whole multi-touchpoint journey. How can we use CRO to optimize this, make it more relevant for the customer at the moment they're in. And later on we're going to go a little bit more in depth about the CRO process in total, so not just for recruitment but also for e-commerce space. So just a bit about me. I'm head of technology and finance at Dark Impact. We're a company that helps other companies, in both the recruitment space and the e-commerce space. These are some of the companies I've been doing CRO for, so it's a lot of e-commerce companies, also some recruitment companies. So what we do is we get shit done. Basically, we try to be not just telling you what to do, but we help you do it, help you find the people you need to do it, and then do it together. And then at the end you can do it yourself. That's what we stand for. So basically what we try to do is we try to build a house of growth. It starts with a foundation. It's all about getting things measured, having your BI in place, getting all the tools linked up. So you can go on with setting the conversion rate and try to improve it. When this is all set, we can help you with improving your performance marketing, setting up some marketing automation, which makes things more organized, getting it done automated, and then the way of working, helping your internal staff to work with the tools you have and improving them as well. So this is a stack. Basically, the recruitment space has a lot of tools, and all these tools should be connected. I think it's a bit complex picture, but this is how it should work. So tools should connect to each other, should talk to each other. We should use data of all these tools, and not just one tool. For example, only looking at your Google Analytics data, seeing the sessions, and then it's done. No, so with all the tools. OnRecruit is a perfect example. It already interconnects more things together. So CRO, if you can one. So who in the room? I think you can 3. Yeah. So who know what CRO stands for? Hands. Okay, so just a part of the room. Okay, that's fine. So what is a conversion? Does everybody know what a conversion is? It's not just that one sale, right? It's just everything, just a goal, getting a goal. And who here uses like experiments or e-tests to optimize your platform? Good. You can go on. So basically, a conversion is getting a goal. It's not just having that one hire or that one sale. It could be signing up for a newsletter, or if somebody's looking for information and contact details, could be finding that contact. Is what they need. And the conversion rate is the percentage of the people that achieve that goal. So depending on what you try to optimize, the conversion rate is always different. A lot of people just talk about that higher percentage, but not only that. So this is the e-commerce funnel. Basically, you have 3 things you can improve. It's the traffic, it's the conversion rate, and it's the average order value. That leads to revenue, and when people come back, it's retention. But if you can go to the next slide. For recruitment, it's a little bit different because we don't have the average order value. So it's more about the traffic and the conversion rate that leads to higher applications. But you can also reactivate people that didn't make it. So then now in your pool, you can use marketing automation or whatever to reactivate them when you have a new suitable job for them. But the traffic is a little different because for e-commerce it's more standard to have like one journey straight, buy the product and you're done. For recruitment you have much more touch points. I will come back to that later. So the conversion rate optimization is all about making it more likely to convert, helping people take away the pains or make it easier to convert. It's all based on data, so we use data to form hypotheses, and from these hypotheses we make a setup and experimentation, and then we test it, and if it works, we implement it and we go on. So just a small summary, we can skip these for now. So it's conversions, making it easier, and based on data. So where do you get this data from? For example, web analytics, some tools on the right side here. Most of you probably know these. There's also A/B testing. You can set up experiments and test it on your real audience. For example, on your website, test what works better, what doesn't, and what works better, you can implement it and you can go on and go on. It's a continuous cycle. It's also usability test. So how many people here ask their, let's say, some of their hires how they like the website, how they like the process online. Very qualitative information can help you find pages that you don't see anymore because you already know your website pretty well. Your customer will probably have a lot of issues with it. You can also do this more in a qualitative way, making recordings of the website, like heat maps and scroll maps and click things, see where the pain is and try to fix it from there. So these are the tools you can use to set up your data for Zero. So let's go to recruitment. So here's a pretty standard setup of an easy recruitment site. You have a home page, you have a job listing, you have the detail pages, and then you have the thank you page. Okay, so very basic. So if you're here, you're already +1, you're a little bit further. I think you can do it. Sorry. So you have sector-specific landing pages based on specific sectors within your the jobs you offer. You have landing pages set up, maybe some job alerts where people can sign up to get alerted for a specific job. But you can take it much further, if you can go to the next one. So this is all about being relevant at the time when the customer comes to your website or the candidate. At the beginning he wants to see different content than when he's ready to apply. So all these pages should be a little bit more dynamic, not the standard. So texts are pretty much always the same, but it could be more dynamic. You could make them, at the beginning it could be more generic, and later on you could make them more wanting to have the job, wanting to apply now, instead of just offering the same over and over again. Because the journey is really long. You have a lot of touch points with your website, sometimes 5, 6, 7 times. So if they see the page over and over again, it never changes, why should they apply now? So if you can go across, it's a bit of a complex picture, but yeah, you can see it in the PDF. So this is set up, yeah, so the multi-touchpoint journey. So you have multiple touch points, not only with your website, but also with different ads or search ads or display advertising or emails. It should all align in some way. And you could use all these touch points to know where your candidate is in. For example, if you retarget someone, you know they have seen your website before, so you can use this data to offer them something else. You can go on. So this is a journey. For example, someone wants a job, and this is the journey he takes before getting to the interview, and then at some point he's being hired. You can go on. So these are all the touch points with the website. So if we would offer all the same content here, it would be kind of lame. But if you make it more attractive to apply here, it would be easier to apply instead of at the beginning, because you would probably need some more generic content. But it's all about being relevant, offering the information they want to see at the time that they visit. So we call it segmentation. This is a more technical, I think it's a technical example, but it's easy to implement. So it's about offering a better experience when they come by, and offer maybe more persuasive content at some point. Make it easier. For example, sometimes the form to apply is somewhere below the page. When they come back and they're ready to apply, and we can move it to the top and make it easier for them to apply. Or don't ask the information in the day, it's hard to fill in. So I have an example how we can set this up. If you have a retargeting strategy, you can segment these based on what your customer does on your website. For example, it's specific sectors or how many times you visited. And if they come back through that retargeting, we know more about the customer at that moment. This way we can make a specific landing page for them, but also change the complete journey, because now we recognize the customer. We don't need very complex tools for this, but now we can recognize them and make the content different. So I have a real life example here. You can start the movie. So this is the text charts detail page, basically. So it's more about, gives you information about the job, some more facts, more about the company itself, and then at the bottom there's a application form. So if you would come back here like the third time, it would probably be the time when you want to apply. But then you have to scroll down all the way again. So if you can go on. So what if we would then, when we recognize they come back, and change it, next one, to put the application form a little bit more to the top, change the content to add some more persuasive lines, maybe give a promise on when they will receive a response, instead of just having the same content over and over again next to each other. It's a pretty easy change. The website is still the same, so the customer won't be won't be scared because it's different, but it will be easier for them to apply. So other examples, we have a lot of lists here. So it's for branches and categories. If you have multiple job types, somebody comes for, let's say, a vacancy in education, it doesn't really have to, it's not really good to show them other vacancies anymore, because they will probably want a job in that space. So you can pre-select a filter. If they're on mobile, you don't have to ask for a CV because they won't have it on their mobile. So just let them apply and send them an email later to fill it in. Or more about the recruitment process, when you want to have some information about the recruitment process, because now you're ready to apply. In the beginning it doesn't really matter that much, or it can be lower at the page. Some other examples, I think, on the next one. So region specific, a Dutchie wants to travel about 25 kilometers to their work. So if you have jobs around the world or around the country, it doesn't make sense to offer jobs from all around the country, but focus it on where they're from. Did somebody apply before, and you can recognize them, maybe offer them something else, because he will probably not want to apply again. So contact information or information about the job he applied for could help. So, how does the CRO process work? It's not just a one-man show, it's more like a team effort. It's always about analyzing, creating, and evaluating. It's a continuous cycle, so it will keep going like this. It's about improving with a team, designing new features. It's about looking at the data, finding pains, making it better over and over again. I think that's what these slides summarize. You can go on a little bit. So the analyze part is about looking at the data. The create part is setting up the test or setting up the experiment to see if to validate what it works or not. And then when it works, you will implement it in the live environment. And then you go on again. You find new pains, improve it even more. The changes can be bigger and bigger, and the effect will be bigger and bigger if you start with experimentation. So a process is, yes, like I said, a little bit more complex. So there are a lot of roles that will be in a CRO team. It's like an analyst, a designer, a marketer, maybe a developer, and the roles change during the phase. So this is a complex slide, you don't need to understand it, but more like as a visual of how a team setup would be. And this one is, I think this is an interesting one. This is about the maturity of your company within the CRO. So a lot of recruitment companies are like at level 1 or level 2, so there's a lot to gain. If you compare it to e-commerce, most companies are like level 3. And I think at this time we should all be somewhere around level 3. So it would be you would continuously set up tests and try to improve, not only on your website, but on your ads, but also in your team, your hiring process, how can we make it more effective, automate stuff, yeah, all these things. And level 3 is still silos, it's like a one team thing, or a few teams, but if you take it more to level 4, it's more a company-wide thing. So it's improving altogether, not just trying to get more hires, but yeah, improve your team as well on their other skills. So why you should start experimenting today, in my opinion, is when we all want to make data-driven decisions. This way we can test if it works or not, and then make more data-driven decisions. You can be more relevant to your customer or your candidate in their journey, so they will be more likely to convert, which then will make more hires, so more value for your ad spend, basically. Because we all know we spend a lot of money, we don't know what works or what doesn't work, or we think it all is fine, but if you do experiments, you'll see it's not fine. It can be a lot better. I think that's the... Yep.
Round of applause for Colin on that. Come on stage for a second, Colin. I think we might have time for some Q&A, but it might be better to do it actually in the lunch break before we do any of that. Really fascinating talk. We have a gift for you, which Bella is going to give you. Round of applause again for Colin, please. You know what? One of these things that talk really gave very clarity for me is how far behind I think recruitment in TA is when it comes down to some of these features that have become fairly basic in the e-commerce world. So I'm looking forward definitely to receiving that slide deck. Definitely one of the reminders for you in the audience to complete the survey tomorrow when you receive it, because you're going to get that content delivered to your inbox. Okay, I think we're now ready to have a lunch break, I believe. So.